Hey guys, yeah, we're on the triple again today. We're at Buckhorn Lake. I'll just show you this real quick. People out in the boats, and I don't know, we want to talk triple again. And it's good to be back on triple. I haven't ridden the triple in a couple weeks, and I'm pretty pumped, as always, because it's such a fun ride. We'll talk more about that when I hop on the bike. Anyway, I did something to the bike. Let me know what you guys think. I've been dying to do stuff to the bike. I've done so many things. Put the radiator guard on, the little windscreen with this little, whatever you want to call it, fly screen deal. I've done so many little things, and I'm always looking to do something to the bike, frame sliders, exhaust, and I don't know if you guys can notice. I put some wheel tape on it, little stripes, and it says GP on it. It's like the GP Moto. It's not the same one we call on a GP Moto, the RS one. I mean, not the RS, the GP Moto Triumph, the special edition one. I don't know where you can get that wheel tape, but it's wheel tape, and I just want to break up the black rims a little bit that go into the tire. Let me know what you guys think. If it's too much, I think it looks okay. The yellow doesn't really match the yellow paint, but I thought it was pretty close. So just let me know. I like to hear opinions. Let me know what you think. Too much, more for the young crowd. Should I take it off? Should I leave it on? I know they can say it's up to you. Do whatever you want with your bike, but I always like opinions. Anyway, I'm trying to think of the next thing to do to the bike. Maybe you guys can give me some hints or something. I just need to do something to the bike. I really want a tune bed, but they still haven't broken the encryption yet. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. But anyway, let's hop on the bike, and we're going to talk more about the triple and all good things as always. All right, guys. Time to put the one camera down and use the other camera. So let's get on the bike, and we'll talk more about the triple and my wheel tape and the triple. When I don't ride this thing for, I rode the FC for, I think, 2 or 3 times, maybe more, because I just got back from racing. And, so when I get on this bike, I'm so glad that I'm not going to get rid of this bike, because when I get on this bike, I'm so happy. It's an unbelievable motorcycle. I mean, I know the guys that have triples and other bikes they just feel the same way, but it's so light. It's handled so well. It rides good. The seat's comfortable. The riding position for me is excellent. Everything about the bike is just perfect. The only thing, like I think I've said this in the past, is that it's. I wish I had a little bit more power, but in a naked bike, it's fine. I mean, from 0 to 100 or whatever to almost 110, it's just as quick as my FC. FC is just stupid fast at the other end, and this is plenty fast. But it's such a joy to ride over the FC. It's light, it's flickable, it's comfortable. It's the throttle is just so smooth. The throttle. Talk about the throttle. I just upgraded my grip puppies. Besides putting tape on it, because after about a year they wear. I just like the thicker grips and I like the softness of them. But yeah, I'm really happy with this thing, and I know I'm preaching to the choir to a lot. Maybe it's just I'm a real fanboy, but it hasn't given me any major troubles except for that when I had my steering, I had to tighten the steering nut, the triple tree, to torque spec. I mean, it was tight, but it wasn't torque to spec, and the stalling, which I haven't done in a little bit. So, but I think it's just because I have the exhaust and it's just a little bit too lean, and I think that's what it is. I'm still waiting for the tune, but let's go for a ride and we'll talk more about the triple. Yeah, it's another beautiful day here at the lake. I guess you just watched my last video with the FZ with a bunch of my buddies. I wish I would have took the triple out. I don't know why I didn't take the triple out. It was a long ride, and the triple is a much better bike on a long ride. I know they call it a sport tour, that bike, but it's old school. To me, it's just it's a go fast bike for me. I mean, I've tuned it that way. I have it set up for high speed, not for wheelies or anything like that. So it's not a touring bike for me at all. I mean, it's my sport bike. It's my gentleman's sport bike, because I don't have to lean over with the clip-ons, which bother my neck more than my back, more than anything. So, and then when I get on this bike, it's like, wow. It's like, I don't know, it's like I'm getting into a luxury sports car. It's just so nice. and the shifting is so smooth. Now I have a quick shifter on my FZ, but it's not even close. Not even close. It's nice, but this is so smooth, up, down. It's such a comfortable bike, and I mean, I'm sure there's guys out there that complain about little things. Some guy was complaining about the kickstand; it's hard to get to, but to me, the overall bike, it's hard to think of anything negative when the bike is so good in so many ways. I mean, this is a naked bike, and it's sorry guys, still got that little cold. This is a naked bike, and you would expect it to be not as comfortable, say, as a sport touring or as a cruiser, you know, and that, I mean, it's more comfortable than a sport bike for sure, or a super bike. But it's a comfortable bike. It's just a comfortable bike. You can do everything. The other couple of weeks ago, I guess, I don't know, did I do a video on it? I don't think I did. I might have. But it was a 200-mile day. Let's see the sand on here. It was a 200-mile day, and I was totally happy with the bike. Yeah, a little, you know, sore after a while, but not really sore. Just you get off the bike and you work it out. But overall, it's just a comfortable bike. No wind protection, but very smooth, and the wind doesn't really bother you until over 75. It doesn't really bother me. So yeah, so the triple, we're talking triple, right? And so let me know what you guys think of the tape. You think it's too much? You think it's just right? I like it. I think I'm going to keep it for a while, but I still like to hear opinions. And I'm really, let's see what this guy's doing. Okay. Not sure what he was doing. Anyway, it's a little gravelly over here. I'm really happy. You know, I tend to buy and sell bikes a lot. And I haven't thought about selling this bike at all, and I'm really glad I don't. I'm not going to sell this bike. I think this bike can make me happy for a long time. I don't have no desire to sell it, because after I get off the my KZ, the old bike, or the FC, when I get on this bike, it's like, it's just that good of a bike. It just it doesn't have any. Let me see how to put this. It doesn't have anything I don't like about the bike as far as comfort, performance, and everything. Like, I'm always complaining about the little bit of top-end speed, but that's kind of stupid, because this bike is pretty fast. It'll go 145 miles an hour if you want to do it, you know, in a naked bike. So there's really no flaws to the bike. Like with the FC, the damn windscreen buffets my head. So it's not comfortable for that. I think the pegs could be a little bit lower. And the seating position, it's okay. It's just more of a go-fast bike, but there are some flaws with that bike. It doesn't have a quick shifter and a gear indicator from the factory, so they're not the best, but they work. It doesn't have cruise control. So it's just a bike I like to ride once in a while to get my, get my speed fix on it, you know? But this bike is no slouch either, and the way they gear it, I don't even have to drop a gear down. You know, I'm doing whatever, 50, 60 miles an hour, and I'm doing 80 with no problem. So this, like I said, this bike is good. It's fast. I'm not saying it's a beginner bike, but for handling wise, it is. If you can control that throttle, this bike handles so good. It rides so good. So I think it could be a beginner bike that way, but you can get in trouble if you push the throttle more than you should, your skill level. But it's a really good bike, guys. And I know this is so redundant, and I do this, and it's such a fanboy thing to say, but this is one of my favorite bikes. The GS was my favorite, guys. I always say that. And if I had to choose just one bike, I don't know now. When I get on this bike, when wintertime comes, I'm going to be wanting the GS. This bike is going to be, it's a little bit cold. With the FC might be a little bit better, because it gives off a little bit more heat, and I think it's because of the fairing, but it gives off a little bit more heat. And yeah, so that might be a little bit better, you know. Yeah, it just accelerates so smoothly. This is just a fun bike, and you know, it just flicks really easy. And you just feel the difference between this and the FZ. It's so much lighter. the feel of it's so much lighter. It's like 60 pounds, maybe 70 pounds, which is a lot. But you feel it like the bike is not intimidating whatsoever, unless you want it to be intimidating. Unless you wanted to if you want to do wheelies, which I don't care to do wheelies. I have the wheelie control set to the, so it comes up very little. In fact, if I crank the throttle about 5,000 real hard, it just, the traction control steps in and it just cuts power. So the best way to launch this bike, not launch it, but if you're doing a roll race, is that you need the throttle, you need the RPM to be about 6,500, and you just crank it and it just stays put and it just hooks and goes, and it's the fastest that way. If you're doing into roll races, which this bike's really not made for roll racing, but I can't help myself. I like roll racing. What else? I'm just trying to think anything else I can think of. Maybe we'll just do a little blast here. Show you what I mean. So we're about 65. Yeah, it just started to come up a little bit, and the rev limiter hit on that. But usually it's about 65. You can just, I don't know, I think it was 115 or whatever. But it gets up to speed real quick. It's easy to handle. Guys will really appreciate this bike who had a sport bike. Excuse me again. Had a sport bike or a super bike, because the way the bike handles so good. But you got the bars here; they're a little bit wide. You leaned over a little bit, but not uncomfortable. I mean, a guy who goes on, has a 600 sport bike or a 700 sport bike, in that range, gets on this bike, you're really not going to lack anything as far as handling. You're gonna lose some of the wind protection at high speed if you really like high speed. So, anyway, that's my take on the triple. I didn't want to really make this a long video. I always say that, and I wind up talking. I don't shut up. But I'm really loving this bike, guys. I'm having a real good time riding this bike. I just look forward. I know it's like I kind of, not to say I punish myself, but what I do is I don't ride it for a couple of rides on purpose, and then when I get on the bike, it's just like, this is so nice. Now, I'm not saying there's better bikes out there, but for this bike is my sweet spot. Yeah, I just really look forward to riding it, guys, and I still looking for my next bike. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm always looking for my next bike. But yeah, all right, guys, I guess that's it for now. I just wanted to, talk about the triple. I like talking about the triple. I'm loving this bike. I'm still loving this bike. We're into it a year and a half, about 8,000 miles, and it's just it hasn't let me down. It just hasn't let me down. The fun factor is always there, and it always puts a smile on my face when I'm on this bike. Okay, so we got something in the road here. Just a box. Somebody's throwing out trash. When they see that anyway. All right, guys, later.